President Biden has just announced that there will be an extension on the pause of student loan payments up until 2022. Now, this is great news for those with student loan debt out there, and that represents a large segment of our community. Maybe we'll see them wipe out the debt itself next time. Who knows? Anything's possible at this point. Now, for those of you who are benefiting from not having to have made any student loan debt payments for the last several months, almost a year, I really hope that you're taking that extra money and paying off any other high interest debt that you may have. Take full advantage of this opportunity if you can. But let's go into the details here. And let's also cover exactly when this extension is going to be for. So the Biden administration is extending the pause on federal student loan payments due through January 31st, which the administration described as the final extension. Student loan payments have been paused since Congress passed the CARES Act in March of last year, but were due to resume in September. Now, due to the pause, borrowers do not need to make payments and interest will not accrue on their remaining balance. So, according to President Biden, this will be the final extension and it will be until January 31st. Payments are set to resume in September, so the timing to enact this extension came right on time. Now, this gives the people with debt enough time to earn and save up. I hope you guys are listening on this one. However, earning and saving up in the current economy during is quite a challenge. So I definitely feel you guys if you're having a little bit of difficulty being able to save up a little bit of extra cash, even with that burden being lifted off of your shoulders, even temporarily. But I'm with you guys because I know how many of you guys are hoping to see complete student loan debt forgiveness. I think it's still a chance. There have been many discussions about that, but that could be our topic. The Education Department described it as a final extension of the pause in the official announcement Friday afternoon. The administration said that the additional time will give borrowers the opportunity to plan for resumption of loan payments, thereby reducing the risk that borrowers will be delinquent or default on their loans. The new extension gives borrowers 6 months until payments will resume. The payment pause has been a lifeline that allowed millions of Americans to focus on their families and finances instead of student loans during the national emergency. This comes directly from Education Secretary Miguel Cardona. Well, I just want to say thank you, Secretary. I've got a buddy who's got an $1,100 monthly student loan payment. It's just crazy. We just have to remember that this payment pause is only temporary. As our nation's economy continues to recover from a deep hole, this final extension will give students and borrowers the time that they need to plan for restart and ensure a smooth pathway back to repayment. President Biden had extended the pause until September when he took office in January. The pause has been a critical lifeline so they don't have to choose between paying for basic necessities or paying their student loan during that upended their lives. This statement comes from President Biden himself Friday evening. Now, this has been one of President Biden's agendas since he took the office in January, so it's no surprise that they extended it. Now, what's going on right now, our focus should be on financing our necessities. Now, if you ask me, I think that the next step after the student loan debt pause should be either stimulus checks or student loan debt forgiveness. Many people need help right now, and the stimulus checks will certainly be beneficial. But let's continue. As today's job numbers show, we have the tools that will allow us and keep our economy recovering at a record rate. He continued referencing the strong July jobs report, but we know there is more work to do and the road will still be long for many more people, especially for the 1 in 6 adults and 1 in 3 children who have federal student loans. Yes, the road is still long for many people. Although we have been recovering, some areas of our nation continue to suffer, and we shouldn't be complacent with our progress. Now, in this road back to normal, the key will be the government's response and us helping each other. Extending the pause on federal student loan debts is just one of the steps in the government's plan. But what do you guys think about this, though? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, guys, so Saturday, the Senate met for the second consecutive weekend and voted to advance President Biden's roughly $1 trillion bipartisan package. This was a historic achievement as despite their expectations, the bill actually received bipartisan support with senators voting 67 to 27 to advance the bill forward. Now, this bill received a vote of yes from 18 Republican senators. That's huge. Now, this has been a key obstacle to overcome in terms of finishing the bill. 18 GOP senators voted with all Democrats to help get the legislation over that 60 vote hurdle. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer promised to keep senators working through their planned August recess until the bill was passed, and that is exactly what he's done. Comment down below if you feel that this fulfillment has restored your faith in our government at all. I'd love to know from you guys. Now, according to The Hill, Saturday's session comes after senators tried but ultimately failed to get a deal that would have let them wrap up the bill late Thursday night or Friday morning. As part of the deal, senators were also trying to set up a marathon session to vote on up to 20 additional amendments, making potential changes to the bill. But first-term Senator Bill Hagerty blocked the agreement, saying that he couldn't sign off when the Congressional Budget Office analysis detailing the cost of the bill had just come out on Thursday afternoon. Instead, the Senate reconvened for a rare back-to-back Saturday session after senators were also in town last weekend. Leadership indicated that they remain at an impasse over setting up votes on the amendments. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who has helped advance the bill so far, sounded positive about its merits on Saturday morning. He noted that the Republicans want more amendment votes before a final vote. But the big question is, what exactly does this mean for the American people? Why is the passage of this bill so important? And what does this mean in terms of a fourth stimulus check? This bill will provide a massive injection of federal money for a range of public works programs, from roads and bridges to broadband internet access, drinking water, and the list goes on. Now, under the third stimulus check package, we benefited from the $600 to $900 in stimulus money to cover broadband expenses. Now, we are likely to see additional stimulus money in this area. More updates on this one as new information is released. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont have all confirmed that this infrastructure bill must be passed first, and then the $3.5 trillion stimulus package can be passed, which includes, but is not limited to, child care, elderly care, and many other different programs. But this is a much more partisan undertaking and is expected to only draw Democratic support for it. Now, this is the reconciliation package that we've been talking so frequently about. This package is being spearheaded by Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, this is where a potential fourth stimulus check could be inserted. Let's not forget that Senator Bernie Sanders, who is heading the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, was a key factor for why we even received a second stimulus check of $600 and a $1,400 third stimulus check. Right after the issuance of the first stimulus check, at the time, Senators Kamala Harris, Ed Markey, and Senator Bernie Sanders, they all came together and proposed a $2,000 monthly stimulus check. Now let's fast forward a year, right? Senator Kamala Harris is now Vice President Kamala Harris. The same guy who was pushing for the $2,000 monthly stimulus check, the same guy who was pushing for the $600 second stimulus check and delivered on the $1,400 stimulus check, is none other than Bernie Sanders. So based on his previous actions and the players involved, I see no reason to believe that they're just simply going to say, hey, we don't care about stimulus checks. I don't buy that. Now, in my opinion, it is definitely not realistic to think that we're going to see $2,000 monthly stimulus checks for everyone. But my point is that Senator Bernie Sanders is a major figure that's leading the way for the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, which is up next. So I think it's very realistic to think that there is a possibility that a fourth stimulus check can certainly be added to the next stimulus package. Keep in mind, the details of this bill have not yet been written, so anything's possible. Nothing's off the table. Everything's up for negotiation at this time. With that being said, no one can say there will be a fourth stimulus check, and at the same time, no one can say that there will not be a fourth stimulus check. It is literally up in the air at this point. But let's also keep in mind that there are many active proposals for stimulus check at this time, which are now likely to pick up steam over the next coming days, including you've got the House Resolution to End Poverty Act. Now, this covers cash assistance programs, stimulus checks, a minimum wage increase, expanded unemployment insurance benefits, canceling all unpayable debt. It covers providing affordable and public housing, not to mention free education. So really, this is probably one of the better stimulus packages if we can get this one passed. The next proposal that is actively on the table right now is the Automatic Boost to Communities Act, the ABC Act, and this is just straight up stimulus checks. It's a $2,000 fourth stimulus check right out the gate. And then, of course, there's the universal basic income. This one's being pushed by Representative Ilhan Omar. She promises a pilot program of universal basic income, aka unconditional stimulus checks, within this Congress. Also, 156 top economists also back more stimulus checks. Their open letter to the president said, direct cash payments are an essential tool that will boost economic security, drive consumer spending, hasten the recovery, and promote certainty at all levels of government and the economy for as long as necessary. Fortune magazine recently also just showed the political consensus that stimulus checks bring among voters. Now, if you've been watching our channel for any length of time, you know very well what we're talking about here. We've got the change.org petition for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks. It has recently already collected more than 2.7 million signatures. We've also got more than 80 lawmakers that are all asking for more stimulus checks, and we've just covered their proposals. So just as we've seen a third stimulus check passed for fewer Americans, you got to keep in mind that the third stimulus check was still passed. And personally, I feel like there is still a large number of Americans that are in need of a fourth stimulus check. Now, not quite as many, in my opinion, are likely in need of a fourth stimulus check compared to a third stimulus check. Now, 6 months ago, sure, more people were in need, but the economy has been picking up since then. Now, if a stimulus check was provided to those Americans in need right now, the number of stimulus checks required will be far fewer than what was issued back in March during the third stimulus check package. So with that being said, this would drastically reduce the amount of money that the government would actually need to spend on stimulus checks. It wouldn't cost $400 billion today. It would likely be far less than that. So I stand strongly when I say that a fourth stimulus check is still a very real possibility. And I'm going to do as I've always done and keep you guys all posted on any and all updates that come out.